Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Tuition. In this tutorial, you will understand how to create this amazing responsive navigation menu using just a CSS and HTML, and of course a little bit of JavaScript for click event. In this video, you will understand how to create this responsive menu for desktop, mobile and tablet devices. Actually, not only for these devices, you can use this navigation for any devices. I will explain each and every step to create this navigation menu and give you a complete guide to create your own navigation menu. You can use this navigation in any website in the future if you want. So let's get started and see how to create this responsive navigation menu with just HTML and CSS. So before taking your too much time, let's get started. So let's get started and create a simple responsive navigation menu with just HTML and CSS. So as you can see here, I just opened the Visual Studio Code editor, and in this editor, I just have tutorial folder open in this editor. So in this tutorial folder right here, I'm going to have a simple asset folder, CSS folder, and the web fonts folder. In the asset folder, I'm going to have a simple background image which we are going to specify to the body section. Just after that, I'm going to have here a CSS folder, and in this folder, I'm going to have all.css file. You don't need to worry about this file because you don't need to create this file. I just copy this file from the Font Awesome package. You just need to download the Font Awesome package and extract it, and just copy the all.css file and paste it inside this CSS folder, right? And just after that, just copy the web fonts folder from the Font Awesome package and paste it inside the root directory of your project. But you don't need to worry about anything because I already specified the structure of this application in the description of this video. So you just need to download it and open it in the Visual Studio Code editor. Now, just after that, I'm going to have here index.html file, and in this file, I have a simple HTML5 snippet. Just after that, I'm going to have here main.js file. I already linked this file to my index.html, so you don't need to worry about anything. In this file, I'm going to add a little bit JavaScript code to create click event. Just after that, I'm going to have your style.css file. You can see here, I already linked the style.css to my index.html. You're also going to see here, I already linked the all.css file to my index.html, so we can use different fonts in the navigation menu. So you just need to download this structure from the link provided in the description and just follow along with me. Now, in the body section right here, I'm going to create navigation menu. So I'm going to just create here a command and just say here navigation menu. Now I'm going to create here a nav tag. So I'm going to just say here nav and specify a class nav. When I press tab, I'm going to have here a nav tag with the class nav. Now this is not necessary to use this nav tag. Instead, you can use the division tag also, but for the reference, you should use nav for the navigation menu. So I'm going to create here a nav tag with the class nav. In this nav tag, I'm going to create here a division tag with the class nav menu. So I'm going to just create here a class. So I'm going to just put here dot nav menu. If you are using VS Code editor, then it's very easy to create any tag. So you just need to put here dot and specify the class name and press tab. When you press tab, you're going to have here a division tag, which is the default tag. And to this div, we're going to have a class nav menu. In this nav menu, I'm going to first create my navigation brand. So I'm going to just create here another div because div is a default tag. So you just need to say here dot and specify the class name to that div. So I'm going to just say here nav brand. In this div, I'm going to specify the brand name of my website. So I'm going to create anchor tag here. I'm not going to redirect this link anywhere, so I'm going to specify here hash and specify here a text nav bar, right? You can specify any text here, but for the reference, I'm going to specify nav bar, and I also want to specify a class to this anchor tag, so I'm going to specify here class text black. I want to specify the black text to this anchor tag. That is why I've specified this text black class. We are going to create this class after a few minutes. Now, just after this div, right here, I'm going to create another div, and in this div, I'm going to create my unordered list. So I'm going to just say here UL and specify a class to this UL tag, and I'm going to say here nav items. You can specify any name to this UL tag, but I'm going to name it nav items. Just after that, I'm going to create here a list of navigation items. So I'm going to just say here li and specify a class nav link. As you can see here, I'm not going to use the default div tag here. That is why I specify the li tag here and specify a class name nav link. When I press tab, this will create li tag with the class nav link. In this li tag, I'm going to create anchor tag with the class text black. And in the href attribute, I'm going to specify hash because I don't want to redirect this link anywhere. And then I'm going to specify my first navigation text here. So I'm going to just here home. Now I'm going to just place my cursor here, just copy this li tag, and I want to copy this li tag, and I want to copy this li tag 4 times. So I'm not going to copy it. Instead, I'm going to press Alt Shift down key to duplicate this line. So you just need to press Alt Shift down in VS Code editor to copy these lines. As you can see, I just copied this line 4 times. Now I just want to copy it once again. So I'm going to just press Alt Shift down to copy this line. I just change this home text to category, this third text to archive, this text became pages, and this became contact us. So I'm going to just here contact us. Save the changes and just open this file in the live server. So just right click here and say open with live server. If this option is not available, then just open the extension tab of your VS Code editor and just download the live server extension. Now I'm going to just open this file in live server. So as you can see on the port 5500, I have my index.html file. Just after that, just out of this division tag, I'm going to create another div with the class social. And I also want to specify text black class to this. So I'm going to just specify dot again and say here text black. So this will specify 2 classes to the division tag, which is social and text black. Now in this div, I'm going to import few fonts from the Font Awesome package. So I'm going to just add here I tag, and to this I tag, I'm going to specify class. So I'm going to first import this social font Facebook. So I'm going to just say here fab, F-A, Facebook, F. So this will import the Facebook font in the navigation menu. If you don't know how to use Font Awesome in any website, just take a look at my previous videos. You will understand how to use it in any website. Just after that, I'm going to import few fonts here. So I'm going to just duplicate this line. So I'm going to just say here Alt Shift down and duplicate this 4 times. And just change this font. So I'm going to change it quickly. Now as you can see, I just imported Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. When I save it, you can see we have this font in the browser. Now I just want to style this navigation menu because the navigation menu looks horrible right now. Now I just want to style this navigation menu, so I'm going to open the style.css file. So as you can see, you already have this code in the style.css file. We don't have anything special here. Instead, you can see we imported few fonts using this URL function in this style sheet. So we just import this font in the style.css file. Just after that, I have here a root selector, and in this selector, I'm going to have a simple variables. If you don't know how to create variables, then take a look at my previous videos. That will explain everything about creating a new variable in your CSS file. Now to create a variable, you just need to specify ---- and specify the name of your variable, and then specify the value to that variable so you can use this variable throughout your style sheet. So as you can see here, I have my text colors, then we have here font family, and we have here a simple gradient color, right? We just specify the sky variable name to this gradient. Now so we can use these all variables throughout this style sheet. Now let's style this navigation menu. So I'm going to just toggle this window on the right side, right here like this, and just style this navigation menu. So I'm going to first select the nav tag and specify some padding to it. So I'm going to say here padding 0. I want to specify left and right padding. So I will just first specify 0 here and then specify 2 rem. So this will specify left and right padding to this navigation menu. Just after that, just after this padding, I'm going to specify some gradient color to this navigation menu. So I'm going to just specify BG. So I'm going to select the background property and specify variable sky. So I'm going to just say here sky, right? Now as you can see here, if you want to access this variable, you can see I have this var function. In this function, we are going to specify the variable name. So this will specify this gradient value to this background. Now when I save it, I have this light gradient color to this navigation menu. Now just after that, I want to remove this margin from the nav. So I'm going to just create here a body tag and specify margin 0. So this will remove this margin from this nav. And just after that, I want to specify background image to this body. So I'm going to say here background URL. In the single quote, I'm going to select my asset folder and select my image. Save the changes, and you can see I have this image to my background. Just after that, I'm going to say here background size, cover, and background repeat, no repeat. This will not repeat this image. Save the changes, and you can see this beautiful image to the body tag. Now, just after that, just after this nav, right here, I just want to align all these element in the row. So I'm going to just use flex here. So I'm going to just say here display flex, and I want to align all these element in the row. So I'm going to use flex direction property. So I'm going to say here flex direction row. When I save it, you can see I have all these tags in the row. Then I'm going to specify here flex wrap. Now what if you want to reuse this property? You need to repeat this property again to reuse it. So instead specifying this property to this nav, I'm going to cut it and create another class here and name it flex row and paste all these three properties in this class like this. Save the changes, and I'm going to just specify this class to my nav. So I'm going to just specify this class here and say here flex row. When I save it, you can see here I have all my element in the row. Now you can use this class as much time as you want. Now just after that, in this nav tag, I'm going to specify position relative and save it. Just after this nav, I'm going to just select my navigation brand. So I'm going to say here nav, select the nav brand class and select my anchor tag. And I want to specify here display block. Then I'm going to say here padding 1 rem. So this will specify top and bottom padding to this anchor tag, and then specify 0 here because I don't want to specify left and right padding. Save the changes, and you can see we have some padding to this nav. Just after that, I'm going to specify font family to this nav. So I'm going to select the font family variable, and font size is going to be 1.6 rem. So as you can see here, I have this font family and font size to this nav bar. Now what I want to remove this border from this nav bar. So instead, specifying here text decoration none, I'm going to just specify this text decoration to the anchor tag. So whenever I use anchor tag, I don't need to repeat this property again. So I'm going to cut it and just select the anchor tag right here and specify that property like this, right? So now whenever you use anchor tag, you don't need to specify this property. Now just after that, I'm going to select this nav list and remove the style. So I'm going to just open the index.html file, and you can see here I'm going to select this nav items. So I'm going to just say here nav and just say nav items. And I want to remove these dots. I want to remove these dicks. So I'm going to just say list style type, and I'm going to say here none. When I save it, you can see I don't have this dicks type here. And then I'm going to specify here display flex property. So as you can see, I already created this class here. So instead repeating this all three property again, I'm going to specify this flex row to this nav items. So I'm going to say here flex row. When I save it, you can see I have all these items in a row. Now just after that, open the style.css file and just specify some style to these nav items. So I'm going to say here margin 0, and just after that I'm going to select these nav links. So as you can see in my index file, we specify nav link class to the li tag. So I'm going to select it. So I'm going to say here nav dot nav items and select nav link. And to this nav link, I'm going to specify some padding. So I'm going to say here padding 1.3 rem. So I'm going to specify top and bottom padding, and the left and right padding is going to be 1 rem. Just after that, font family is going to be this. I'm going to use variable here and specify font size 1.1 rem. Just after that, save the changes, and you can see I have this font family and font size applied to this nav link class. I'm going to just create some hover effect on this nav links. So I'm going to just select this nav link. So I'm going to just copy it, paste it here, and create hover effect on these links. and specify background color. So I'm going to say here background, and I'm going to call the bg color variable here. Save the changes. You can see when I hover on these links, you can see this type of result. I'm going to specify background color to this li tag when I hover on it, and just after that, when I hover on these nav links, I want to change the color of this anchor tag. I'm going to paste the selector again like this. On the hover effect, I want to change the color of anchor tag and say here color white. Save the changes, and when I hover on it, you can see I have white color here. Now just after that, I'm going to specify this background color to these anchor tags because the blue color is very boring. So I'm going to just back to my global classes right here, and I'm going to just say here text black class, text black, and to this class I'm going to specify color. So as you can see in index.html, I already specified this class to this brand and to this navigation links. Along with that, I already specified this text black class to the font as well. When I specify color to this class, when I say here color bg color, when I specify black color to this class and save it, you can see the navigation menu is completely changed. We change the color of this nav brand, the nav link, and these social icons. Now what I want to add some space between these three elements. I want to center these navigation links and specify the social icons on the right side of the screen. So what I'm going to do is, to this nav class, I'm going to specify justify content space between. So when I specify this property, you can see I have some space between these elements. And so the navigation menu is on the center of this document, and we have these social icons on the right side of the screen. Now I just want to style these social icons, so I'm going to just specify some style to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first select the nav, select the social class, and specify padding to it. So I'm going to say here padding 1.4 rem to the top and bottom, and 0 for the left and right side. When I save it, you can see we have some padding to it. And just after that, I'm going to select the I tag. So I'm going to say here nav social I, and I'm going to select the I tag and specify here padding 0 and 0.2 rem. So I will specify left and right padding to this I tag. So this will add some space between these icons. Now as you can see, the basic navigation menu is ready. Now let's check this navigation is responsive or not. If it is not responsive, then it's useless. So I'm going to quickly open the inspect tools. I'm going to press Ctrl+Shift+I on Windows. If you're using Mac, press Command+Shift+I. Now you can see I have the inspect tool. Now you just need to click on this toggle device toolbar, and you can see this type of result. And I'm going to open the viewport for the laptop with the width 1024 pixel. Now when I have this pixel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if this navigation menu is responsive or not. Now you can see the viewport width here. When I decrease the size of this viewport, you can see the width over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just decrease the size of this viewport like this. Now as you can see here, when the viewport is less than 766 pixel, you can see here the navigation menu is collapsed to the next line. When I decrease the size, the nav link is also collapsed to the next line, right? Now this is because we specify flex wrap property to this flex row class. If you remove this property, this will not happen. Now just after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change the direction of this flex. So what I'm going to do is when the viewport is equal to 800, I want to change the flex direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use media query for that. So I'm going to add here a media query. So I'm going to say here add @media, and I'm going to just say here only screen and max width 800. Now if I want to explain what is media query, then I'm going to say using media query you can specify different classes depending on the viewport. So now if the viewport is less than 800 pixel, I'm going to specify different properties to the element using this media query. We're not going to dive deep in the media query, but just for now, keep in mind when the viewport is less than 800 pixel, I'm going to specify different properties to these elements. So now, if the viewport is less than or equal to 800 pixel, I'm going to select the now items, and I want to specify flex direction column. When I save it, you can see I just specified the different direction to these nav links using this flex direction property. Along with that, I'm going to select the navigation menu and specify flex direction column to this nav tag. When I save it, you will not see any result here because we specify flex row using this class. Now we need to override this property if I want to specify this property to this nav. So I'm going to just specify here important keyword to override the default property, right? When I save it, you can see I have my navigation menu. Now what I want to hide this extra content, and I want to add here hamburger menu. So when I click on this hamburger menu, I want to show all these nav links, and when I click on it again, I want to hide all these links. Now let's add this popular effect to this navigation menu. So just open the index.html file, and in this file, I'm going to just create here, just after this div, right here, I'm going to create another div and specify class toggle collapse. And in this division tag, I'm going to create another div with the class toggle icons. You're not limited to specify only these classes. You can specify your own classes also, but keep in mind when you change these classes, you need to change the style sheet as well. Now to this div, I also want to specify text black class to change text color, right? And in this div, I'm going to add a span tag. In this span, I'm going to import font from the font awesome package. So I'm going to add here I tag with the class fast fa bars. So I'm going to add 3-bar icon here and save it. When I save it, you can see I have this icon here in the navigation menu. Now I just want to specify some style to this icon. So I'm going to open the style.css file and just toggle this window on the right side. Now what I want to specify some style to this toggle menu. So I'm going to just back here, up here before this media query. I'm going to first select the nav tag and select toggle collapse. Now I'm going to select this class, and in this class I'm going to specify position absolute, and top is going to be 0%. So you can see this icon right here, and just after that I'm going to specify width to this div 100% and cursor pointer. This will not do anything, but if I specify background color to this div, you can see I just specify width to this toggle collapse class. Now what I want to move this icon at the end of this div right here. So I'm going to just specify here nav toggle icon. I specify this class. You can see here I specify this class to this div. So I'm going to first select the toggle collapse class and then specify here toggle icons. Now to this class I'm going to specify display flex and justify content flex end. When I save it, now you're not going to see this icon here because I just specify 100% width to this div. If I specify padding 1.4 rem and 4 rem to this toggle icon, you can see this toggle icon here, right? So I just add some top and bottom and left and right padding to this icon. Now I just want to increase the size of this icon. So I'm going to first copy these selectors and paste it down here, and just select the I tag here and say font size 1.4 rem. Save the changes. This will increase the size of this icon. Now I'm going to just remove this background color. So I'm going to just remove it. Save the changes. And as you can see, you have this hamburger menu here. What I want to add the actual functionality of the navigation menu. When the viewport is 800 or less than 800, I'm going to hide all this content and just display this toggle menu. or you can say the hamburger menu. And when I click on this hamburger menu, I want to display all this content, and when I click on it again, I want to hide all this content. To create this functionality, I'm going to just open the style.css file, and in this file, to the nav tag, right here, I'm going to specify minimum height to the nav tag. So I'm going to say here minimum height 11 viewport height. So I'm going to specify here VH, which is the viewport height unit of CSS, to specify responsive unit. I specify here height 0 rem and save the changes. You can see I have the minimum height to this navigation menu. Now what I want to hide this overflow content. So I'm going to just specify here overflow y hidden. When I save it, you can see all the overflow content is now hidden. Now just after that, I want to hide this nav link and this social icon as well when I have the viewport 800 or less than 800. I'm going to just open the media query. So now what we want, I want to hide this nav link and the social icons. So how do we do that? So if you specify display block property to this nav link and to this social icon, this will collapse to the next line right here. So if I just specify here to the nav class in the media query, if I just say here display block and just specify the important keyword also, because I want to override the default property. When I save it, you can see I don't have these navigation links and the social icons. Now if you just increase the height right here, if I just specify here 31 vertical height, you can see you have your navigation links here. So if I just specify 100% to this nav link, you can see you have all your navigation menu here, right? So I'm going to just remove this height and just say here 0 rem. I'm going to change this value as well, 11 viewport height. Save the changes. And now what I want, when I click on this hamburger menu, I want to increase the height of this nav. So I'm going to just open the main.js file. So I'm going to just open this right here, and I'm going to just create here two variables. So I'm going to first say here constant toggle collapse, specify here document dot and select the toggle collapse class using query selector, and just say here toggle collapse, and I want to select this span tag, right? So I'm going to just say here span. Just after that, I'm going to select this nav tag. So I'm going to just say here constant nav is equal to document dot query selector, and I'm going to select this nav using a class nav, right? I already specified this class to this nav, you can see here. Now in this main.js file, I'm going to create on-click event on this toggle collapse class. So when I click on this toggle menu, I want to increase the height of this nav. So I'm going to just say here, I'm going to create here a command and just say on-click event on toggle collapse span tag. So I'm going to just say here toggle collapse dot on click and call the handler function here. So I'm going to call the ES6 arrow function, and in this function I'm going to call nav dot class list. I want to add a class to this nav, so I'm going to say here class list dot add, and I want to add a class collapse. Now let me tell you, we don't have this class in my style.css file, so let's create it. So open the style.css, and just down here I'm going to create this collapse class. So I'm going to say here collapse and specify height 30 rem. Save the changes. Just open your browser, and when I click on this toggle menu, and you can see I have an error here, cannot set property on click of null. Yeah, right here I just need to change this toggle collapse to toggle collapse like this, because we have this class right here, toggle collapse, right? Save the changes. Now when I click on this toggle menu, you can see Now, when I click on this navigation menu again, I want to remove this hide from this nav. So instead of specifying this add here, I'm going to use toggle method. Using the toggle method, you can remove and add classes one by one. So if I just specify here collapse and save the changes, and if I open the element tool to this nav tag, when I click on this toggle menu, this will add the collapse class to this nav. When I click on it, you can see I have this collapse class to this nav. When I click on it again, this will remove this collapse class from this nav, right? As simple as that. Now, just after that, I want to add a smooth transition to this navigation menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just open the style.css file, and to this nav right here, I'm going to just say transition of 1 second ease. I'm going to specify the easing function ease here, right? Save the changes, and when I click on this hamburger menu, this will increase the height of this navigation menu very smoothly. So you can see this type of result here, right? That's amazing. Now what if you want to create your own easing function? To create your own easing function, just click on this nav. Because you specify this easing function to this nav tag, just click on it, and in the style section right here, you can see you have here the easing function, right? Just click on this small icon, this one. So when you click on it, you can see you have your easing function. So you can create your different easing function here, whatever you want, right? I already created this easing function, so I'm going to specify that instead of specifying this ease function. So I'm going to just say here cubic bezier and just specify 3 values here. So I'm going to just say here 0.26 minus 0.01 and 1.01. Save the changes, and when I click on this toggle menu, you can see, oops, I think something is going wrong. Right here, I just forgot to specify the third parameter like this. Save the changes, and when I click on this hamburger menu, it's going to smoothly scroll down this nav bar, smoothly scroll up like this, right? Now just after that, now what if you don't want to specify this transition to your all properties? In that case, you just need to remove this all and just specify height here. So this transition is only specified to the height property. Save the changes, and when I click on this toggle menu, you can see we have the same effect here, but in the proper way. Now just after that, let me just toggle this window on the right side like this, and just open the viewport of the desktop. So just open the laptop viewport. I have this toggle icon here. I want to hide this icon when I have the desktop view. So what I'm going to do is, to this toggle icon, to this toggle collapse class, I'm going to specify display none. Save the changes. As you can see, the icon is gone, and when you reach to the viewport 800 or less than 800, I want to display this toggle icon. So I'm going to select this collapse class, and in the media query right here, I'm going to say display initial. Save the changes, and as you can see, you have your toggle class again, right? When you increase the size of your viewport, this will automatically hide the toggle menu, and you can see your navigation links and social icons. And when you decrease the size and have the viewport less than 800 pixel, you can have your toggle menu, and you can collapse the navigation, right? Now what I don't want to use this boring icon. Now instead, using this boring icon, I'm going to remove this icon and create my own icon here. To create my own icon, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just create here in the index.html file. I'm going to just comment this span tag like this, and right here I'm going to create another span tag and specify a class icon. Save the changes, and in the style.css file, I'm going to create this icon class. So I'm going to just create here a command and just specify creating on toggle icon. Now, when creating your own toggle icon, I'm going to first select icon class and specify some properties to it. So I'm going to first specify the position relative property, then specify width 10 pixel, and border is going to be 2 pixel solid, and I want to specify text gray variable to this border. So I'm going to say here text gray. Save the changes. You can see here we have a single bar, and just after that I'm going to specify border radius. So I'm going to say here border radius 3 rem, then specify display inline block and save the changes. Now what I want to create after and before pseudo selector to this icon. Now let me just increase the zoom it up like this. I want to create after and before pseudo selector to this icon. So I'm going to just create here, I'm going to just specify comma and specify all this property to the before. So I'm going to just say here icon before and icon after. So I'm going to specify all this property to my before and after pseudo selector. Just after that, I'm going to select the before pseudo selector. So I'm going to select icon first and say before, and then specify content. I'm going to specify empty string here. Position is going to be absolute, and top it's going to be 5 pixel. Now when you save the changes, you can see you have the second bar, and I want to just change the width of this bar. So I'm going to just change width of it. Width is going to be 20 pixel. I want to specify the left property minus 12 pixel like this. Now just after that, if you don't want to use this top property, you can also use margin property like this. If you specify here margin 5 pixel and 0, this will do the same thing, but instead using margin I'm going to use top property. Save the changes, and just after that I'm going to select my after pseudo selector. So I'm going to say here icon after, and to this after pseudo selector I'm going to first specify content empty string, then specify position absolute, and top property is going to be 12 pixel, right? Then just after that I'm going to specify left property minus 2 pixel like this, and I'm going to specify width 10 pixel. Because we already specified this width right here, I'm going to just remove it right from here. Now as you can see, you have your hamburger menu. Now when I click on this hamburger menu, I want to increase the width of these bars. So what I'm going to do is just create another class here and name that class toggle click. Along with that, I'm going to create before and after pseudo selector also. So I'm going to say here toggle click before and toggle click after. And to this class I'm going to specify width 20 pixel. Save the changes, and when I click on this hamburger menu, I want to add this class to this span tag, this one, right? I want to add this class to this span tag. So how can I do that? So let me show you how you can do that. Just open the main.js file, and in this file you just need to specify the event parameter to this handler function, and if you just say console.log and say here e.target and save the changes and open the console, and when you click on this hamburger menu, this is going to return this span tag, right? Like this. Now what you want to do, you just need to specify this toggle click class to this span tag. So what you need to do is you just need to say here e.target.classList.toggle, and I want to add toggle click class. So I'm going to say here toggle click, and just after that, when I click on this toggle menu, I'm going to get this type of result. This will increase the width of these 3 bars, right? Like this. When I click on this bar, I want to specify some left property to this middle bar. So I'm going to just open the style.css file, and right here, just after this toggle click class, I'm going to select this toggle click before pseudo selector, paste that here, specify here left minus 2 pixel. So when you save it, you can see this type of result here. Now when you click on this icon, you can see you have 2 different icons when you click on this hamburger menu. Now the last thing, I want to add a transition to these icons. So I'm going to open this style.css file, and in this file, to this selector, I'm going to specify transition to all properties and specify here 0.8 second ease. Now if you want, you can create your own easing function here, but I'm going to leave it as it is and just save it. You can see here awkward animation. When I reload the page, just remove this property, save it, and just specify it again. And when I save it, you can see we have this awkward effect to this hamburger menu. Now when I save it, just take a look at this toggle menu. Now when I save it, right, you can see we have this awkward effect to this hamburger menu. To solve this problem, I'm not going to specify transition to my all properties. Instead, I'm going to specify this transition to my width and to the left property. So I'm going to just say here transition property to the width and left. Save the changes, and now this will solve this problem. Save the changes, right? That's great now. Now let me check this navigation is responsive for the mobile version or not. Now if I just open this smallest viewport of the mobile and click on this navbar, that's perfect. Now you know that how to create responsive navigation menu for any device. Now let me check this navigation menu for the tablet. If I open the tablet view and click on this navigation menu, that's great. Now as you can see, your navigation menu is ready. If you want, you can ask me any question in the comment section of this video. Don't forget to press the like button if you find anything useful. Subscribe for more latest videos. That is all for now. I will see you in the next tutorial.